Oh my gosh, we're here. I'm so excited for the How I Made My First Six Figures Off My Passion, and you can too, masterclass. It is September 25th. It's 11 a.m. where I am. Maybe it's 2 p.m. where you are. Maybe you're in the evening right now if you're joining us from Europe. I am so excited for this class. I wear my cute little jean jumper today. So I was actually meant to go to a conference, a business conference in Tampa, Florida, and unfortunately, a little hurricane is brewing over there. So hopefully, if you're in that area, you stay safe. But I will not be attending that conference now because of this hurricane. But so I wore my conference outfit for you guys. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to do this class with you to share. Literally, I was thinking about it the other day. It's like 6 years of things that I've learned, 6 years, and almost $200,000 of training that I've done that I've condensed into a really easy to understand format for you today. And we're going to go from the basics to some more advanced strategies. Like we are in for it all. I want to be sure as well that you stay to the end because I have a really incredible gift for you on a business bootcamp guide, 5 simple steps to launch your side hustle. So do be sure to stay to the end to get that. So what I thought I'd do, whether you're new to this community, euphoric me, Carolina, that's my name, Rzadkowska. It's a really hard last name. I thought we'd just get started. I'm going to share with you some slides. We're going to cover so much today. Let's do it. Let's do it. I am so excited, you guys. I'm so happy you're here. You don't know, like, before I speak, before I do anything, and this is something I'll teach because it's so important when you want to, play big and really help people change their lives, is I just think to myself, sometimes it's so easy to get caught up in the numbers or the likes or all this kind of external validation. And sometimes I just think to myself, and I have this little silent intention, just one person. If I can just change one person's life today, right? And I think about you and I care about you and I'm rooting for you. And I hope that we connect in a way that we haven't been able to before because truly I do this out of a true passion to help other people. And I'll share with you a little bit why I think we go through experiences in life because we are literally meant to turn around and help the person behind us, whether we've gone through a challenging experience and we can help them through a challenge, or we've gone through an opportunity and we've learned how to finesse and manage this opportunity. And now we can move forward with so much more knowledge than we ever had before and help someone who's just starting out on that journey. So what I thought I would do is get into my slides. So let me be sure I can share my screen. You guys, this took me more than a few days to put these together because they're so powerful. So I can't wait to get started. Let us present this baby. Okay, here we are. Hopefully you can see my screen. How I made my first six figures off my passion, and you can too. And even though I'm going to go into the history and really teach you guys a little bit about what I went through in order to get to where I am, this class really isn't about me at the end of the day. It's really about how you can see yourself doing something you truly love. Whether you are completely new and just thinking about this concept, a lot of us have jobs that look good on paper or is something that a field we got into, many moons ago and have been providing a steady paycheck. And we're still kind of asking ourselves, yeah, but am I doing what I'm passionate about? Is it possible to even do what I'm passionate about? And others of us might have already started our passion businesses, but we're still kind of in those trenches, right? We still need those inspiring moments and those marketing strategies to really get to this next level. So this will be a really good class for both of those camps. Okay, so just a quick reminder, being here live is so incredible because you can actually like really tune in, like don't let all the distractions. I know we're online, you can have like a million tabs open right now, but let's pretend like we're actually in a room together. Like let's pretend that we're actually together in a room at a conference or something and I'm sharing this with you and think about how much more life-changing that kind of information is when you're totally tuned in, you're paying attention. So do find a quiet space, do turn off all distractions, close all your tabs. And do get yourself a journal and a notebook because we're going to be sharing a lot of wisdom today, a lot of step-by-step advice that you want to be sure to be able to take a note of. So be sure to do that. You also will get the replay for this, so you can watch it again and again if it's helpful for you. And then again, be sure to stay to the end because I'm sharing a free guide with you. It's a business bootcamp guide that we share with all of my clients, literally a step-by-step process to get started with your business. And even if you're already established in business, sometimes we don't have all these, the T's crossed and the I's dotted. So this is going to be a really good guide for you. I'm going to share that with you at the end. Okay. Amazing. So, in case you're completely brand new to me or you've been following on along for years or a few months or something like that, let's just start from the scratch. Who am I? I'm Karolina Rzadkowska. Crazy long last name. I'm Polish. I will get into that in just a second. And I consider myself, I'm an alcohol-free empowerment coach. I really started my career helping people change their relationship with alcohol because of a transformation I went through, right? And not only do I help people do that, but as I've grown in my career, I've helped people also find deeper purpose now that alcohol is out of the way. And then I find that people with deeper purpose want to help other people. So I became a business mentor as well to help people really get out there and spread their messages and their words out there. And so this is my life's work. This is literally what I was put on the planet to do. I didn't always know this. I will take you through my backstory and share with you a little bit about how confused and insecure and just unsteady I used to be, but we'll get there in just a moment. I'm also the author of the book Euphoric, Ditch Alcohol and Gain a Happier, More Confident You. If you've read this book already, I love you. Like, seriously, my heart goes out to you. I wrote this for you. I hope you found it really empowering and a really great way to like really cement losing your desires for drinking. If you haven't read this book yet, it's like 13 or $10 sometimes on Amazon. I think right now it's $13 on Amazon. It ships almost everywhere in the world. I really recommend you get this book. If you're like still changing your relationship with alcohol or cementing an alcohol-free lifestyle, this will be really good. If you're even new to that work, this will be amazing. And also if you want to be a coach in this area, like starting to learn some of these frameworks will be so, so good for you. So do be sure to pick up that book. It's like my gift to you because it's really how we are able to sometimes share something for a very low cost. I mean, you really, when you pay $13 for this, it's essentially paying for the printing and the hardcover and all that kind of stuff. And yet you get the whole framework in here and all of my beautiful life story. So I am obsessed with change work. I'm obsessed with transformation. I'm obsessed with helping people become the best version of themselves and reach their highest potential. And I do that in multiple areas with my clients. And because of that, I've invested in my coaching career. So I am a 10X certified master coach. I hold a lot of different certifications because this is my life's work, right? This is what I was put on the planet to do. And I didn't start with 10 certifications. I surely didn't. I started with 0 and then I got 1, right? So I started a long time ago, well, relatively, but I've been growing and growing in this industry, and this is seriously my life's work. So I understand a lot about the psychology, the subconscious mind, the alcohol-free living, all those beautiful things. I'm also a host of a top-ranked podcast, Euphoric the Podcast. I hope you've listened to it before. If not, be sure to go and subscribe because we shell out so many juicy tips both on alcohol-free living and getting into your purpose on that show. And I'm also host retreats. So if we've ever been on a retreat together and actually got to meet in real life, oh my gosh, that's like the biggest gift to me. I love that so much. I've hosted retreats in Mexico and Bali and Costa Rica. It's so fun to be able to actually not only help people and change lives, but then get paid to travel, right? And that's part of what I love to teach other people too when they're getting into coaching is like, you could take your passion for traveling and actually marry it into your business and just watch what will happen. And then I'm also the founder of an ICF approved 5X certification program. That's 5 different certifications that you graduate with, and I'll talk about a little later. And I consider myself at the core of who I am. I'm both an alcohol-free and an entrepreneur. Those are 2 identities that I really relate to. I became alcohol-free in 2018. I'll get into that story in just a moment, but that is like a core identity of mine. It's changed my life going alcohol-free. I believe in the alcohol-free movement and message. I really believe in how the sober curiosity movement is allowing so many people to reevaluate their relationships with alcohol. I mean, so much has changed in the last like 5 to 7 years. Before that, like nobody ever stopped drinking unless they were, sent off to rehab. Nowadays, it's so much more typical to see people talking about this, reevaluating it, having more conversations around it, having mocktails on menus. It is so cool because it is changing so many lives. And I'm also an entrepreneur, right? I've taken my passion, the thing I care about the most, and I created a business out of it. And I am so fulfilled because of that. I am so happy I've done that. I am here to share some of those secrets to success with you so that you don't have to kind of go blindly into it yourself. So I totally didn't start here, you guys. I was one of the most insecure, unconfident people you ever knew. This is a picture of me in 2017. I'm still drinking here, right? And I'm actually in wine country here. So because of, I don't know, the glamorization and conditioning of alcohol that we all receive in society, I literally thought that there was nothing cooler than going wine tasting in wine country or drinking alcohol on the weekend. And here I have like literally wine stains on my teeth. It's not cute. It's not sexy. But this is what I kind of thought the highlight of my week was. And I think it was really sad at that point because I literally didn't have something bigger to live for. I didn't have something that really meant me feel like I have a purpose and a passion and a true sense of fulfillment. And so if you're coming into this class and you're kind of like, why is an alcohol-free like author like talking so much about entrepreneurship? There's actually a really big reason because I truly believe that first we have to change our relationship with alcohol. First, we, let go of the beliefs that alcohol serves us and take breaks and really truly lose our desire to drink. And that's really fundamental work. But if we really want it to be lasting, if we really want to be free from alcohol, and hopefully you're here because that's how you gravitated into my world, but maybe so many other things connected us as well, then we have to also find a deep sense of purpose and a deep sense of meaning and a deep sense of fulfillment. And when I was stuck in a cubicle, drinking was the highlight of my week. I didn't have that sense of purpose. I didn't have that sense of fulfillment. Literally, a little buzz from alcohol was the best thing I had. And because I didn't have that true, deep sense of meaning, that high that we get off knowing that we're living our life's purpose, that we're living our lives, our dreams, and that we're helping other people as a result of it. So in this stuck, purposeless place, I just want to give a little background here too. I'm the daughter of immigrants. So my parents actually immigrated to the United States in 1984. My brother and sister were born in Poland. I was barely born here, so I was the firstborn here. I grew up in such a Polish foreign household. I spoke Polish as my first language. I was actually an ESL kid. They sent me when I went to school. I didn't speak English. So they sent me to ESL classes, and that always made me feel so like already out of the loop with other people, right? Other kids at school had these beautiful little Lunchables, which we know aren't that good for us. And my parents would make me like weird pickle and pork sandwiches. Like if you've ever seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding, where the main character goes to school with like her smelly Greek food, like that was my childhood, right? I always felt myself being really different, really insecure, and I was really shy. I'm an introvert, so I'm always going to be an introvert, and I claim that and I love that. I think introverts actually are the best coaches and the best thought leaders possible. Also, if you're an extrovert, you're welcome to the party too, but I actually think introversion is a really great gift to have. But I was like dead shy when I was growing up too, right? So not who you see today. I also then, kind of went through high school. I started drinking in college and late high school as well. And to me, that was like here's my ticket to being an extrovert. Here's my ticket to being like popular. Here's my ticket to actually feeling more comfortable in my skin. And so a lot of those like shy, insecure, things that I was going through when I was younger morphed into a complicated relationship with alcohol, which I talk a lot about in my work in like my book Euphoric. I talk a lot about this in Become Euphoric. A lot of my programs like Dry Boot Camp that are just about changing your relationship with alcohol. So if you want to go back and kind of start there, be sure that those resources are available to you. But back to kind of more my career story. I graduated in the recession. So I graduated as like the economy bottomed out, like I majored in art history and English. So it's not like I had this like very big analytical, like I'm a finance major, an economics major. Like I had no idea what I was supposed to do with that, right? I actually went on to get my master's in English because I just didn't know what to do. I was like, well, I can't find a job, so I'm going to just keep on in this liberal arts thing and keep on studying what I like, which if actually serves me really well now because I am actually a writer at heart. But back then, I really felt like so confused and almost very purposeless. So when I graduated from my master's in English, I had a really short stint in the mortgage industry. That's actually where I met my husband, and I'm so grateful for that. Not for the job. The job sucked, but I'm really grateful I met my husband. But after that, I really started my career in the nonprofit education sector. So I worked at a university, and I started out as an assistant, making $31,000 a year. Now, obviously, that's a fine salary if you live somewhere in a developing nation. But in the United States, like I literally went to one of the best colleges in the US. I had like a master's degree, and I feel like I am just like, what is going on, right? I felt so like, I felt so much more even insecure now. Like now, not only did I grow up insecure, but now I don't even know how to earn money. And this continues to repeat in my life as a theme. So I actually got my MBA because I worked at a university. I had an option to be able to get my MBA paid for by the university that I worked for. So I did get my MBA literally because I was lacking in esteem and earning power. And I thought, well, maybe this will be my ticket out of that, right? But I just continued to stay in this nonprofit sector, and I just got really meager wages. So I was barely earning, I was under earning for years and years and years of my life. Like I was living in literally one of the most expensive areas in the world, Southern California, and barely making, what like a single person should make. Um, I found really that I kind of just took whatever job I could get after that recession. And then as I started growing in the university, I did grow, I did get promoted, I did start to have more projects that I enjoyed, but it was really like the inertia. Like it was just like the only path that I saw in front of me wasn't really what I chose, if that makes sense. And I think it's really interesting how sometimes we major in something when we're 18, like economics and finance or accounting, and then we're supposed to do that thing for the rest of our lives, right? Like I never really decided what I actually wanted to be when I grew up, right? I never really figured that out. And I felt like I was lacking in a lot of purpose, impact. So, impact, I had really been drawn to social innovation, corporate social responsibility. I was really drawn to the sustainable development goals by the UN. I was really drawn to how could I actually make a career out of helping other people? But I didn't feel like I was doing that in my job at all. I didn't really feel that level of impact. And I also was really driven towards freedom. I love to travel. I've loved to travel since I was young. My parents used to send me to Poland, and it wasn't as like glamorous and sexy as it sounds now. Like back then, it was super communist, and I would just stay at my grandma's house in these like shabby communist buildings. But then that really helped me birth a love for Europe and traveling around Europe. And even though I had like 1 week off a year for a while, and then 2 weeks off a year for a while, I would travel like on a Friday night. I would take a plane somewhere and then land on a Monday morning. Like that's how much I love to travel. So that freedom was really important to me. And I didn't have abundance back then. I felt really lacking in that. And I really felt the pinch of that. Like I truly did. I was really an under earner if you look at kind of what I was credentialed and smart enough to do and how much I was earning as a result of it. Now you throw alcohol on top of all of that, like you take an insecure, unconfident, under earner who has no purpose, and you throw alcohol into that. And I'm drinking every single weekend, and I'm waking up on Monday mornings feeling like, who the hell am I? Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, I was literally having existential crises every Monday morning. But I heard a little voice inside me say that you're meant for more. And, maybe you've gone on a similar journey where you're lost, you're confused, you're frustrated, you're not sure what to do, but you keep hearing this voice that you're meant for more. And I didn't know what that meant back then because maybe as a little girl, I dreamt of things like maybe being a psychologist. I remember I got into really psychology when I was younger. I really liked the idea of being a teacher when I was younger. I liked the idea of being a writer. I actually always wanted to be an author when I was a little girl. But then when it came to actually become those things as I got older, the format didn't feel right to me. Like I didn't want to be a teacher at a public school and just go there every day at 6 a.m. Like something felt off for that for me. So it's like I was interested in those topics, but there was something about the format that wasn't really fitting for me. And I did know I was meant for more. And I know you have that voice too, but I kind of gave up at this point. Like I seriously was just like, I guess I'll just have this job and maybe I'll get to this level by the time I, retire. And that's just called life. So something really incredible happened in my life to wake me up from that inertia, from that stuckness. And what really happened is in 2018, I took a break from alcohol that shook my world open. It really awakened me to my deeper purpose, and I knew I was meant to help other women and design a life based on freedom. So in 2018, I'll go a little deeper into the nuances of what happened, but just real quick, I started blogging and sharing on social media. In 2019, I got certified and made $7,000 on a passive course and was building my side hustle. So this is when I really start my business. In 2020, I quit my day job. I made 6 figures in my coaching business, and I got a 6 figure book deal from HarperCollins. And in 2022, I published my best-selling book, Euphoric, Ditch Alcohol and Gain a Happier, More Confident You. I sign it in bookstores and I record the audio version in a studio, which is pretty wild. So keep on going. In 2022, I also retire my husband from his corporate job, and he joins me as the Chief Officer of Operations of Euphoric. We actually moved to Europe for a season, which was really, really incredible. Now we spend almost every summer in Europe. I've spoken on stages across the nation, and I've also been featured in over 50 big media outlets like HuffPost, over 300 podcasts like Jenna Kutcher. She's literally my hero. So being on her podcast was incredible. And I've also been on multiple TV shows. I've helped thousands of women and men not only ditch alcohol, but also step into their purpose. And I really think those things are important in a dual way. I'm not just here to help people like stop drinking. That's not it. It's those two things together that matter so much to me. And I've been doing all of this while traveling the world to going to places like Bali and France, Mexico, Hawaii, because I was able to actually marry my passions of freedom and travel into my life and into my business. So I'm guessing that you came to this class because you're attracted to my work. Maybe you've also reevaluated the role of alcohol in your life. Maybe you've been taking breaks. Maybe you're alcohol free, sober curious. Maybe you've also been doing a lot of other personal development work that's kind of awakened you to deeper purpose, or really like starting to figure out that I want more from my career. You want to grow or scale an online business and you have really big ambitions, or you're finally admitting to yourself that you would like those things. You want to step in more freedom and fulfillment, and you know you're made for more as well. And you want to be a life changing thought leader and a highly sought after coach. And if you're already in that coaching industry, you want to get to the next level and the next level and the next level. So do me a favor, open up your phone. Find me on Instagram at euphoric.af. And just, if that's you, send me a little heart emoji. Just DM me real quick a heart emoji, because I really do believe that this isn't just this big type of online work where, you never talk to me, know me, anything like that. Like, I want to know you. I want to have a conversation with you. I want to get to know you. I want to know your dreams and ambitions. I want to know what you've been through. Let's just start a conversation there. So just DM me a little heart emoji. I would love, love, love to hear that. Again, at euphoric.af on Instagram. Just send that little heart. There's nothing else. Then you can put your phone down and let's continue. Okay, so you want all those things, but maybe you also struggle with doubting if you can really make it big, or even if it's worth chasing that. Not understanding how to do all the things or what exactly you even should be focusing on. Maybe you already have a hot and cold approach. When you're really enthusiastic, you go all into this, but when life gets busy, you pull back. You have no roadmap to follow. You don't feel qualified. And if you've already been doing this for a while, sometimes you find, and this is what I really find for myself as well, the beginner strategies are already done, but you don't know how to get the next level of support. Okay. I promise you there's an easier way. I've made all the mistakes for you and I've already learned from the best. And this is what I really wanted to condense in this class for you. Okay, so you are here because you want to learn how to make your first six figures off of your passion, whether you're already started in a business or you're just getting interested. This is the class to, take your notes, get your pads out ready, because I'm going to be sharing you the key steps to do so. Okay, this is what we'll cover. The simple process of harnessing your transformation and translating it into multiple streams of income, a comprehensive step-by-step into exactly how I made my first six figures of my dream business, the key steps to make a wild impact and income from your passions. I'm going to share with you what changed between my first year in business and the second, and how my offers morphed. We'll also cover the biggest mistakes new and early coaches are making, and I made them too. We're going to talk about how to explode your visibility and reach in the online world. We're going to uncover the biggest blocks that are cock blocking you from your dreams and ability to make money from lights up your soul. I'm going to share with you my secret hack to show up boldly and fiercely, even with imposter syndrome, procrastination, and doubt. Trust me, those things haven't gone away from me completely. I just have a secret method to deal with them. And I want to share with you also why the money game has changed, that, we don't live in the same economy we used to 20, 30 years ago. The more people you profoundly help, the more money you make today. And the biggest opportunities I'm going to share about the coaching industry. Okay, let's start from scratch though. So this whole class is called how to make, your first six figures off your passion. But like, what is even passion? And I know a few of you even asked me, like, what if I don't know what my passion is? Okay, so let's just start right there. And I want you to imagine that you had the chance to tell your 19-year-old self advice. So I don't think anyone in this room is 19 years old anymore. I think we're all older. So I want you to imagine that you have like a phone or a way to have a conversation with your 19-year-old self. Do you have a lot of advice that you would give her? I bet you do, right? Like, what would you tell her or him? I bet you have a lot of advice that you would share with this person. And what I want you to recognize is that you have a lot of advice based on the things that you're passionate about, based on the experiences you've learned from, based on the challenges you've gone through, based on the things you've learned the hard way or the easy way, based on the things that you really care about. You would actually have a lot to tell your 19-year-old self, and some things might be more important to you than others. So, some questions to ask ourselves if we're just first minding our passion, and if this is something that you really want to dive deep on, my program Become Emboldened is actually like a 16-week program to really get clear on what your passion and your purpose is. So, I can share that with you after this class. But really asking yourself, like, what do you care about? Like, what are the things you really care about? What are the things you love to learn about? Like, what kind of podcasts are you listening to? What kind of books are you reading? When I started this alcohol free work, I was binging the podcast. I was reading all the books about this. Obviously, I was passionate about an alcohol free lifestyle, right? And then imagine sometimes we get like into our passions. We know we love something, but we get really stuck because we don't believe that we can make a full-time salary or an income from our passions. So let's just drop the money question completely. Like imagine that no matter what, you could get paid a six-figure salary to do anything. What would you want to do? Right. And I think that's where we can get clear on what we really want and not what society expects of us, because we're always, using this lens of what's logical or practical. Like, no, that's not going to work if you want to succeed in this world. Other questions you can ask yourself are, who makes you jealous? So sometimes who makes you jealous is actually a sign that that's something you want to do, but you're not brave enough yet to do it and claim it. So you respond with jealousy instead. What social causes pull at your heartstrings? So sometimes the things we care about the most when it comes to social causes, whether it's helping, women's empowerment or the environment or animals, sometimes those things are really good clue into our passions. What don't you want? So just sometimes understanding what we don't want can help us. I didn't like commuting. I didn't like working for a boss. I didn't like having only 1 or 2 weeks off a year. I knew very clearly what I didn't want. And so if you can already start with what you don't want, you can help translate that into what you do want. And then also imagine you won the lottery. So again, I'm taking the money off the table. You don't have to worry about the money. You already won the lottery. You have $10 million. You travel, you go to all these beautiful beaches, but eventually you want to actually make an impact. You want to have life's work. What is that for you? Like, what do you care about? What would you do? Money wasn't even an issue. So I believe that you are here, that no matter who you are, you have had a transformation in your life because you have changed from the 19-year-old version of yourself. And that you also have passions that marry into something that's very unique to you, right? Maybe you've changed your relationship with alcohol. Maybe you've gone on a wellness or a healing journey. Maybe you've changed your mindset to be more positive. Like I used to be so negative when I was in my early 20s compared to how I am today. Maybe you found love after toxic relationships. Or even simply, if you can't find like an actual bucket of where to put your transformation, you just love helping other people with their challenges. Like that alone is enough, right? And so going through this little ladder, just knowing like this is super basic, but I want to make sure we're all starting off on the same page. You used to be here. You used to be somewhere that was more stuck, more unhappy, less free, less healthy. You used to be down there, right? But then you learn things and you change, you got up a level, that you've changed actually through that stuckness. And I want you to recognize that other people could benefit from that. And that when you recognize that it's your purpose in life to actually go through the experiences you've gone through because you're meant to help other people with those same things, you can actually create meaningful containers of transformation that help other people and give you meaning and purpose back. And then that is eventually how you get paid for your passion, right? So simple, super simple, but I want to make sure we're all speaking the same language and understanding the same concepts. You already have the building blocks right now to create the career of your dreams. I really want you to know that in your heart and your soul, you went through a transformation for a reason. This is one of the crowning messages of my work because I really believe it. I know it in my bones. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a reason. You could help the past version of you so effectively, right? And think about it, when you actually could speak to the past version of you, you know what to say that's going to hit her. You know what would land, right? You know better than anyone else how to help the past version of you. And then you could also shave years of struggle and pain for someone else who relates to the past version of you. Not to the past version of me, not to the past version of Tony Robbins or Annie Grace, you specifically. So now that we have that understanding, I'm going to actually give you a step-by-step into exactly how I made my first six figures in my dream business. I'm going to like totally walk you down like the timeline of how I got started so you can have like an understanding of what I did, and that you can have, some things I'll tell you, nope, that was a mistake, don't repeat that. And then some of the things I'll tell you, this was good, do that. So in 2018, this is the year I first take a break from alcohol. I count this as year 0 in my business because I wasn't actually set up to sell anything at all. Okay, let's make sure we come back. I love it when that does that. Okay, hopefully we're all back. All right, so year 0 in my business is 2018. So what happened here is I did dry January in January. I loved experiencing life without alcohol, but I did drink again in February, and that's what really made me recognize how much I hated it. Now, obviously, I loved alcohol before, right? I thought I would be drinking forever, but this experience rocked my world. And on February 24th, I take another break from alcohol. And this time I go really deep into changing my subconscious mind and completely losing my desire to drink. I go really deep in my own self-discovery and healing journey. And I finally figure out what I really want to do in life. And just as a little footnote, this little break from alcohol turns into, I think it's 6.5, almost 7 years later. It'll be 7 years in next February that I don't drink, right? Like I've never had the desire to drink ever again because of this. So I did this really deep work, figured out how to completely lose my desire to drink. And in April, May, I start getting signs from the universe that I'm meant to write a book and launch a business around everything I'm learning and experiencing. I have podcast episodes about this. Like I literally got a sign from the universe, like a sunset, like something spoke to me. The word euphoric just like hit me on the head. It was not a coincidence. It was not me being delusional. Like something told me to do this. So I start working on a website in June of that year. And in July 1st, I finally hit publish on that website. I come out with a Facebook post announcing to everyone that I'm now alcohol free and I have this beautiful website. And I start posting to Instagram every single day going forward. Maybe not every single day, like 7 days a week, but for the most part, like, 5 days a week or whatever that was back then. And I start posting, even though I'm nothing to sell yet, I start posting mocktail recipes. I start posting how amazing it feels to be alcohol free, how much happier I am, all this stuff, right? In October of that year, I actually launched my podcast, Euphoric. I can't believe it's that old now. And I collab with a friend because I'm actually too nervous to do it by myself. So my friend Danielle and I started it. Now it's my solo show. But if you go way back with me and listen to those original episodes, you'll know that I had a co-partner. So as I'm building my audience on Instagram and growing my email list, I'm kind of starting with the basics of just growing an audience, but I'm working on a course at the back end. I file my business with the state this year and I get ready to sell my program by January of 2019. So again, even though I already have some like pre-work done in this year 0 in my business, there was nothing for sale. There was no way of like exchanging money or transformation with me. So I really technically count this as my year 0 in business. So now it's 2019. Now it's my first real year in business. And I would love to share with you that I made 6 figures in my very first year in business, but I did not, right? So here's what happened instead. So 2019 is my first year in business. That's one of the first headshots, you guys, I ever got by a professional photographer as I started my business. My eyebrows are not even like combed. They're like going down in my face. I'm not even wearing mascara, but hey, I'm putting myself out there and I love the baby version of me. So I go live with my program, Become Euphoric, as its self-paced course at that time. And 2 people buy it on the very first launch. You guys, I wanted 20 people to buy it, so I get really sad and depressed. But actually, in hindsight, looking back, I should have been so proud of myself that 2 people actually bought it on the very first launch. During this time, I also finished a certification program because now that I'm really recognizing this is going to be my career, I want to become a real professional at it. So I get certified as a life and transformation coach. I continue building my audience through Instagram and email list. I even host 2 live alcohol-free events in San Diego with 2 friends, and I host or I attend a lot of other sober events. So I'm kind of getting out there. I'm going to events and stuff. At the end of the year, I do a few more launches for this self-paced course, and 13 people eventually bought Become Euphoric, and I made $7,500. So $7,500 is what I make for the year, right? Totally, at this time in my life, I'm like, that's not bad for a side hustle, right? Like I'm still working my full-time job. I'm really scared to invest in myself and get proper mentorship. So this is like the year of really doing everything by myself. I hardly have any help or know-how. I really don't know what I'm doing, really, truly, truly. And I still make $7,500 and I'm so proud of myself for that. But something changes now for the next year. It's 2020. It's now my year 2 in business. And at the beginning of the year, I have a friend tie on a Brazilian bracelet onto my wrist. This is a really special ritual. I actually also do it on my certification retreat in Palm Springs because of how special it is. But you tie on this beautiful bracelet and you make 3 knots. And with every knot, it's a new wish that you make that you want to accomplish that year. So in 2020, at the beginning of 2020, I wish to be a full-time entrepreneur, to get an amazing book deal, and to make 6 figures this year. Now, again, for context, I'm still working a day job. I barely made any money in my business last year. I am not by any means established as a business owner. These dreams are wild and crazy, right? They're really big dreams that I have and that I make this year. But all three of them happened. All three of them happened, and that's what I really wanna share with you in this class. How the hell did I make those 3 things happen? I quit my job in July, I get an incredible book deal from HarperCollins. It's actually a six-figure book deal, and I crossed 6 figures in my business aside from that book deal by December 31st, 2020. So what does that look like? Now, this is just what I did in 2020. Things have kind of changed in the online world. So I'm not going to say that this is exactly what you should do for sure. I'll give you a little bit more about that later. But this is what I did. I actually went back into my business books and looked at what happened. So from only having like a few people buy my course in 2019, all of a sudden now in 2020, I step into one-on-one coaching. I really recognize that like even though I feel a little embarrassed about it at first, like I don't know what I'm doing and showing up like live with people is actually kind of like very like hard for me at first. I realized that if I really want to make a transformation in people's lives, like I need to work with them personally, right? So I kind of opened the doors to one-on-one coaching and I signed 20 clients that year. That's about little less than 2 clients a month or so. So with that, I make $55,000. I also opened the door to group coaching. So instead of just having a self-led course, I now actually have a group coaching program around it. So I think we do 2 launches that year with 10 people in each, and so that's, 10 in one round, 10 in the other, and that comes down to be $20,000. I also am still selling my course as a self-paced course on the side, and I start another course called Become Emboldened, so I now add another thing to my offer suite, and that is another $20,000 in course sales. And then I want to host retreats. So I start selling my first retreat. And you guys, this is 2020. And my first retreat was to Bali. And then the pandemic happens and everything closes doors. So I sell a few slots. I sell the slots for that. But then literally the retreat cannot happen. The Bali's closed. The airports are closed. No one's going anywhere, right? So it's so funny. I didn't actually get to host that retreat until 2022. But this is what I did to make that first 6 figures this year. So what the hell changed between year 1 and year 2, the 7K year to the 100K year? This is what I want to leave you with. This is what's most important. I doubled down. I got really serious about my coaching career. So knowing that I wanted to help people change their relationship with alcohol, I knew that my life and transformation certification was not enough. I knew that I needed to be certified as an alcohol-free coach as well. And so I went for a very expensive, very time-consuming certification. And I also started learning advanced subconscious modalities. So that is something that, I'm like, I'm in it. I'm going to be a professional at this. I'm going to learn everything I can learn about it. I also doubled down and invested in mentorship. So I hardly ever did any mentorship in 2019. Like I didn't like really invest in myself. I would just do like a few self-paced courses here and there and just get even more confused about what I was supposed to do. So I actually hired a coach for the whole year. Fun fact, I still work with her today. And the fact that she knew me that long ago is just insane because I had no success back then. And now it's crazy to see what's happened. And I also joined not 1, not 2, but 3 masterminds this year. This is in addition to the certification programs I'm taking, right? I really double down. I make big moves by writing a book proposal. I hire a book consultant that costs money, and I get an agent to get a magical $125,000 book deal. So this book deal did not just fall on my lap with no effort. Like I was seriously working on it and training with the professionals in order to do it, right? I also got help and hired my first VA. So it's no longer just me and my business. I'm having someone help me with a lot of the administrative things, some of the posting, some of the repurposing, like really getting my name and brand out there. I get a lot more help with that. And I think this is what the most important thing that I changed. I stopped playing as an entrepreneur and I fully commit to my vision of being a thought leader, author, and coach who changes thousands of lives. It's no longer this little hobby I do on the side of my life. I 100% commit to it. And I know sometimes it can be hard to do that at the beginning, but when you have like a knowing already that you're meant to help people, this is really important. So I want to share with you now the 6 key steps to make a wild impact and income from your passions. So we already talked a little bit about how to like mine your passions and really figure out how to take your transformation and help someone else. And just as a quick PS, this isn't going to be like a list of step by step, like, well, first you need to launch a website and then you need to post on Instagram and then you need to get certified. Like that's the kind of stuff that you could learn in a YouTube tutorial. I'm going to share with you more needle moving things than that. Okay. Like these are the actual things that really mattered the most when it came to being successful at this. You have to be willing to choose your intuition over logic. This is not understandable in the sense that, like, we were groomed to get these careers in smart subjects that would pay a good paycheck and give us a retirement benefit and, be safe and secure. To become a coach and go into the online business world is unfathomable to previous generations, right? Like, this defies all logic. But when you know in your heart you're meant to help other people, you have to claim that, right? We're taught to be so logical, but it's not going to help you here. It's the ones who actually follow their hearts and their intuition that have the wildest, most unreasonable goals accomplished and are living their dream lives. I believe your heart will never leave you astray. It's not me guiding you. It's not someone else telling you what to do. It's your heart. It's your intuition. That will not lead you astray. You can trust it. You can listen to it. Now, it doesn't mean you have to quit your day job today, right? It does mean, though, that you have to be honest with yourself about what you really want and claim your destiny as a helper. Whether you use the word coach, whether you use the word a service provider, whether you're a practitioner, whether you're an online educator, doesn't matter what word you use, you are a helper through and through, and you have to claim that that is your purpose in life. Because if you know deep in your bones that you're meant to help other people, whether that's helping someone change their relationship with alcohol or improve their wellness or find deeper purpose, coaching and online education is one of the most powerful tools of our era to do so, right? You know this, right? You've witnessed it. You're in these, podcasts and programs and books. You're watching other people do this, and it is time for you to be a leader as well. There will be voices telling you that you'll never make it or it's too late for you, but it's your job to listen to the even deeper voice that you know you're meant to help other people. Claim this destiny. Why else are we here anyways? Like, what's the purpose of life if it's not to help other people, you guys, right? Number two, if you really want to help other people and make a wild impact and income from your passions, you have to understand how the subconscious mind works. You have to also understand how to reprogram the subconscious mind. There's a lot of coaches and service providers out there who do not have any understanding of the subconscious mind. Everything they do is super superficial and it doesn't last very long, right? Because our conscious mind and our subconscious mind are different things. Our conscious mind might want to change, but our subconscious mind doesn't. So if you don't know how to change the subconscious mind, you're not going to get very far helping people. Our subconscious mind is totally programmed by past experiences, especially from our childhood. It forms beliefs in our minds that feel like the truth, feel like reality, feel like the way it is, but most of these beliefs are false. Physics tells us that reality is actually an illusion, and our brain is only ever getting the smallest little percentage of reality. So when you have a belief or your client has a belief that limits you or holds you back, it's actually grounded in a total illusion. And if you know how to reprogram that belief in the subconscious mind, you can actually change their life forever. So once you understand the science, the teachings of the subconscious mind and how to reprogram it, and really understand this for yourself first, like it's so key for yourself as well, you can help other people do the same thing, and you can go beyond the superficial and really make deep lasting change for people. This is super, super important. Okay, number three key step on making a wild impact and income from your passion. So now we get into the marketing side, right? So you have this gift, you're training, you're learning, even if you're not get started yet, like these are things that are becoming inevitable for you anyway. We have to build a bold personal brand that actually attracts our ideal clients through storytelling. So we live in a place, in a time right now where there's never been this level of connectivity. There's never been this level of opportunity to literally connect with people from all over the world. And people not only want to learn from other people who are inspiring, they also want to see a nugget of themselves in it. So you becoming a successful coach or service provider means you focus on building an audience of people are looking for the solution that you have to offer that relate to you in some way, that have some kind of affinity with you. And the only way we can build an affinity with people is to actually start sharing our stories, sharing storytelling from our lives. So you want to build a personal brand that is relatable, authentic, inspiring, builds know, like, and trust with the audience. And you can do this. You can systemize your content with brand pillars and subtopics. And I know that sounds really jargony, but all that means is like take the four things you care about the most, blend them all together, and start talking about those four things. And you will find people who have affinity with those things and will listen to you more intently than they listen to someone that they have no thing in common with. Does that make sense? You can use storytelling to really connect with your audience and share the transformation that your offer creates. How do we actually do that though? So step 4 is a little bit more businessy, right? We actually have to move our audience through the transformation. And so I'm sure you've seen this and been in this before because online education is not new now. It's been around for a few years, but it's not totally new. First, we find the person. First, we have to find ourselves, right? We have to find each other. And so that's where awareness comes in. Maybe you change your relationship with alcohol because you read This Naked Mind by Annie Grace. Like, where did you first hear about that, right? Awareness is the first step. Maybe you see a reel, maybe you view an ad, maybe you hear a podcast, maybe you come across a web page. We have to have awareness if we want to change someone's lives. And if we are going to be, making an income from our passions, we have to build that awareness too. Then someone subscribes to you. They want to attach themselves to you by either following you, subscribing to your email list, or subscribing to your podcast, right? Then we nurture, we build know, like, and trust through storytelling, expertise, and advice. So maybe that's sharing your story through podcasts. Maybe that's writing a book to share your story. And then there's the sale, right? They buy your offer. They want to go deeper with you. They want the full transformation. They want to work intimately with you, right? We're spend money on things all the time, from handbags to, different like kitchen remodels. These days, more and more people actually want to change their lives in something that's meaningful and profound. More and more people want the offer and the transformation that you have to offer. And then the next step is the buy again. So you continue to lead people through multiple transformations and keep guiding them and guiding them. And this is how you actually make an income from your passions. You move your audience through this transformation. Okay. Sometimes the marketing stuff can feel a little heavy. Sometimes it can feel like we're in the trenches with that. So it's really important, if you want to be effective at this, you have to connect with your deeper why, and often. So if you think about it, there's actually nothing physically hard about this kind of work. All we do are typing and talking, typing and talking. Today I'm talking. Earlier I was typing to make this presentation. I'm not doing hard labor. I have, relatives that were actually in concentration camps and in gulags. They know what hard labor is. I do not, right? Like, let's be honest with ourselves about this. This isn't hard in that way. But it can feel emotionally hard because our outcomes don't often match what our expectations are, or it can feel like a roller coaster when you're on this journey. So maybe you have a reel that goes viral, you go up on the roller coaster, then a reel flops, you go down. Then someone enrolls in your program, you go up, then a credit card defaults and you go down, right? It is normal to experience this kind of stuff. And so you need to be able to connect with your deeper why to remind you why you're doing this in the first place. It's your job to stay inspired. It's literally your job to stay inspired. And you have to have a way to connect with your deeper why, or surround yourself with mentors who remind you of your deeper why. So one of my ways to connect with my deeper why is music. So even if I'm waking up, I was supposed to be at a conference like this weekend, you guys, it was canceled. My flight's getting canceled. Like, there's so much logistical stuff happening in my life right now that's like just throwing me out of a loop. I listened to music before this masterclass. I put on songs that literally remind me of how profound and special it is that we get to connect today. And if I can just change one person's life through this class, everything is worth it. Like, I have to connect with meaning. I make meaning out of things. Sometimes I have mentors that remind me of my deeper why. I watch a lot of other classes. I'm in masterminds. I'm learning from mentors. I love, for example, Tony Robbins and other female leaders who remind me of that deeper why. And in my case too, I have a deeper why because we all actually have this, but this is something that's really meaningful to me. My ancestors survived a lot. My ancestors survived war, World War II, World War I. They survived bombings. They survived concentration camps. They survived gulags. Well, not all of them actually survived gulags. A lot of my great uncles were actually murdered. My family has been through a lot, and your family has too, if you think about it. If you, have immigration in your history, if you have famine, wars, depression, poverty, like, we have to recognize sometimes that we are the torchbearers of our past ancestors, that they survived for us. They survived for us. And now our purpose is actually to make a difference in the world because they survived. And that's my deeper why. And I connect with that very, very often. And I'm actually writing my second book about that. So make sure you have little anchors and things that you can touch with that remind you of why you're doing this. Maybe it's to have a completely different life and provide a completely different life for your family and your children than you ever had. And that's such a beautiful, deeper why. Number 6, learn deeply from someone who's done what you want to do. Okay, like, this is so important because I've claimed my destiny as a helper. This isn't a hobby for me. It's my career and what I want to do for the rest of my life. Getting mentorship, coaching support, training, it shaves off years of struggle, confusion, and pain. My first year, I made $7,000 because I had no help, no mentorship. I was not learning from anyone on how to do this. My second year, I made $100,000 because I got the mentorship. There's a huge difference here, you guys. No one's supposed to know how to do it when they first start, right? So sometimes having that humility to know that even if you have previous business experience or education, this is all completely new. This online marketing thing changes almost every year. Like, we're all students at it. And if you really want to make a big impact and an abundant income from your passions, literally mentorship and education is the #1 key to get there. So how can you actually translate the process of harnessing your transformation and translating into multiple streams of income? So I put together like this little I guess it's a ladder of different offers that you could create, because if we have something that can help someone, if you can help someone go from step A to step B, let's say you love health, but you really have dialed in on your sleep and you've really improved your sleep, and now you get really good, like, you get really good on your aura rings or on your trackers. Sometimes there's the littlest tips that you can give someone else that help someone go from A to B. Or maybe you want to help someone change their relationship with alcohol and you have really good tips on how to get through cravings. These aren't huge transformations. Sometimes they can be really small, like how to just get from step 1 to step 2. And so sometimes we can have things that we sell to people or that we have containers for, from a book, a mini course, a challenge, a membership, that helps someone go from these small steps. Sometimes we have all the steps, right? Sometimes can help someone go from A to D. So it's much more thorough, much more transformational. And we can have these other offers that target that. You can start with literally any format you want. And if you're more established, you want to kind of make sure you have a few of these. So if I was just starting, I would start with one-on-one coaching. That's why it's circled. This is the easiest thing to start with. You don't need a lot of people to buy your thing. For example, if I was making money selling a pen that's $10, I would need a shit ton of people to buy this $10 pen if I wanted to make a good salary from it, or even a living salary from it, right? But one-on-one coaching is a premium service. So you don't have to help a billion people to make a sizable or good income from coaching. You just need to help a few people, and that's actually a good income. After I already had one-on-one coaching, I'd probably start with something on the lower rung, maybe a book or a mini course or a challenge that I would guide people through to kind of warm them up for the bigger things. So there's so many things. I'm sure you've seen these things before in other thought leaders, but there's so many ways to translate your transformation into an income that actually pays an abundant career. Now, you don't start with this, right? You're starting from scratch. I started with nothing. I didn't have anything, right? You start with one thing at a time. And for me personally, I've just kind of added another thing, like maybe every year. Every year I add a new offer or a new program or something like that. So now I have multiple programs, from Become Euphoric to Dry Bootcamp to my book to my certification program to a mastermind. Okay. Again, I didn't know any of this when I started. I learned, I leaned in, and I grew. So what are the most typical roadblocks I see? I will start with some of the biggest mistakes I made, and then I'll share with you a little bit of the bigger mistakes I see other people making as well. My top mistake was tiptoeing around my dream. I wish when I first started, I just really went for it. I really claimed that I'm supposed to be a helper. I almost had to trick myself into launching a business. Like, at first, I just kind of wanted to write a book. And so I started scribbling in my notebook. And then I was like, oh, I think you need a business if you want to write a book. So I was kind of like, yeah, well, maybe I'll form a website. Maybe I'll put something up there. I started meeting with this business advisor because I worked in a university that had free business advising for our students. So I actually went at myself, even though I wasn't a student at all. I was an employee there, and I started talking to them about that. I seriously still had no idea that I would do this. I literally tricked myself into launching a business. And that, like, I think that year zero kind of took up a lot of time, because I could have probably gotten started way earlier if I just went for it from the get-go. I also was really scared to put myself out there, which is super interesting. I had this link to book a free discovery call on my website that I almost never shared. I never pointed anyone to it. I was really nervous about that. And my very first discovery call, you guys, I was so nervous. I actually told the person, hey, if you want to turn your video off, if that makes you more comfortable, um, because it made me more comfortable. Like, that's seriously what I said. I can't believe that. I also made mistakes in that I would do the same thing year after year, expecting it to work. So instead of growing and learning new strategies and always recognizing that, like, I'm always a forever student and always relearning the marketing or the strategies or changing my approach or changing and pivoting, Whenever I tried to repeat the same exact thing year to year, I noticed that that's not where the universe wanted me to go, that it was always expecting me to grow. So sometimes doing the same thing, expecting it to work is not helping us, right? I also learned once it was really funny because for a long time it was like 0 clients, and then overnight almost I crossed this imaginary line and I had too many clients. So I really overbooked myself early on, right? And I was almost on the verge of burnout. The thing is that how I got over that, and any problem that ever comes up for you in business, is we have to recognize that we are not working for someone else. There is no big boss to tell us that we have to do something. Everything in your business is actually decided by you. If you don't like your schedule, you can change it. If you don't like how you're doing this offer, you can change it. Like, everything is decided by you. So make sure that you're building something you love and not something you hate. I've learned that there's always a solution to every problem too. And that's something that's really beautiful, because new problems will always come up in a business. There's a mentor that I love learning from, and he usually says something along the lines of like, your business grows depending on how many problems you're able to hold and then solve, right? But just remember, you get to make the rules. You get to find the solutions. They're always there. A huge mistake I made was not investing myself in getting mentorship. If I invested in myself the first year the way I did my second year, I probably would have made $100,000 my first year. Again, my first year, I really invested and made $7,000. The second year, I got the right support and coaches and made $100,000. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about like how we need to think about this, because there's so many costs in an online coaching business that we don't have, that literally every other business model has and we don't have. And so sometimes learning how to be a little less risk averse and actually getting the support we need is the ticket to getting to the next level. So what is the biggest mistake I see new and early coaches making? Not seeing the long-term vision and believing that the first year is all there is, right? Now, I hate to break it to you, but your first or second year in business is going to historically be the lowest you will ever make. It is going to be the most crickets you ever hear. It's going to be the least amount of clients you serve. It's going to be the least amount of money that you make. Like, it's just the fact. It's just historically going to be like that. 1, you're new to this. 2, you're just starting to build an audience. 3, you're still awkward at selling. Hell, I can even be awkward at that. It's so easy to fall into overwhelm, frustration, or even undermine your self-worth when you feel like things aren't working. But I promise you they're working. I promise you. Everything you do matters and things stack. Everything you do matters and the things stack. It's like a snowball that's accumulating more and more snow as it like goes down a mountain, almost turning into like a huge boulder by the time it gets down there, right? Most coaches fail to play the long game. If you knew, for example, that in 3 to 5 years you'd be wildly successful, I think it would be easier to take some of these things in stride. But it's often the first 2 years that many people shoot themselves in the foot, have doubt, and then pull back, right? And so if we just understood that the first year is going to be the like hardest year in the sense of like, you don't have to think it's hard. I actually had a different attitude about it. I was like, you know what? I'm trying new things. Everything I'm doing is new. I get to learn how to put a website up. Like, I kind of approached it with a more curious lens instead of like, oh my God, I'm failing, right? I mean, I felt like that too, of course, but it gets to be fun and you get to get better at it. And historically, your second, third, fourth, fifth year is going to be so much better than your first. So don't shoot yourself in the foot by like stopping before you even really start, you know? Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about how to explode your visibility and reach in the online world. So first of all, falling in love with marketing. This is not our parents' era anymore. There's so much opportunity at our fingertips. We have social media, the way we learn, our mentorship, the power of connectivity. There's so many more people interested in self-development and sober curiosity that have changed the world and what's possible. We have a power to connect with people in ways that never existed before, but you have to learn how to play this game. You have to learn how to fall in love with marketing. So in fact, no matter who you are or what you teach or what kind of coaching you're going to get into, you're 50% that and you're 50% a marketer. It's not sleazy or difficult if you really learn how to fall in love with it. I'm so glad that someone marketed me how to help me stop drinking, right? Like, my life would have been so different and that change never happened. I'm so glad I was marketed to become an entrepreneur. I'm so glad I was sold into mentorship to become successful. We have to fall in love with these processes in order to reach other people. This is super easy, but showing up really matters. Consistency adds up. When you continue to take the steps to build your audience, share your story, perspective, give value and advice, sell your offers, work with clients through their transformation, it adds up. Because in a few short years, you're going to be standing behind a whole body of work behind you. There's people who started in 2018 and 2020 that are the leaders of today, And the people who start today in 2024 are going to be the top leaders in a few years too, right? You have to recognize that just by showing up and continually adding and adding to it, you will build a mountain here. Okay, this is like a little hack that I use, borrowing audiences. So I don't rely on an algorithm or other kind of things that are out of my control in order to grow. I borrow audiences. What does that mean? There's so much opportunity out there to be featured on other platforms, other people's podcasts, Instagram lives, other publications, media. This basically allows you to borrow an audience instead of having to grow it out organically yourself from an algorithm. And being featured really helps you be seen as a leader in your industry. So this is one of my biggest secrets of my success. I've been featured on over 300 podcasts, 50 media outlets, and several TV shows. And I don't wait for these opportunities to fall in my lap. I have a key to systemize it, and I pitch myself and my team pitches me regularly. It's automatically embedded in my business model. So this is really key and smart. Okay, another thing that really helped me in my visibility is doing things that scared me. Part of the way I've grown is that I've done something big that scared me at least a few times a year. When I was first starting, the things that scared me were like little steps, right? First, I started hosting events in my city. Like, oh my God, I was terrified to do that, right? I remember asking big thought leaders to be on my podcast. I remember asking Annie Grace and Andy Ramage to be on my podcast. I was so nervous, right? I remember how nervous I was to write a book proposal and pitch to book agents, how nervous I was to host retreats, how nervous I was to do my first business immersion event and to launch my certification program. And now I'm hosting a mastermind in Paris, you guys. I don't have all that figured out, right? I'm learning as I go. But these big things that I did that scared me are the key that made me visible and stand out in the online world. I launched a podcast before I was ready, and it might be that the podcast is what actually connected us. I wrote a book proposal before I was ready, and it might be that this book is what connected us. You maybe saw me on another person's podcast, or maybe you heard about my certification. Like all these things that I did that scared me made me more visible, right? And so if we learn, it's not like you have to repeat this list, but if we learn to do things that scare us, not only is that where our deepest fulfillment lies, because we're outside of our comfort zone, it actually is the thing that pushes you to be more visible in the online world. And then this is really important too. That's my sweet dog, Huxley. I love him. He is the mascot of the certification retreat. Live a big life outside of your business. So embodying your teachings. You are a walking testimonial for your business and the transformation it represents. That doesn't mean you have to be a perfect person, but how can you embody the happiness, freedom, purpose, health, wealth, love, success that your ideal client's looking for? Live a big life. Do what brings you joy. Why would someone want to work with you if you have no joy in your life, right? Document them, collect adventures, and then document them. So for me, I embody freedom, right? And I travel the world and I document that and I show that all over my Instagram because it's what I do the things I want to do. You know, maybe I still have the fear, but I do them anyway. So sometimes we get this like trap because if you're like an alcohol-free niche or an alcohol-free coach, you think, well, of course I embody being alcohol-free because I just don't drink, right? That's not it. People don't want to just change their relationship with alcohol because they want to not drink. They want something more. They want more happiness. They want more freedom. They want more health. You be that, right? Be that, embody that, show up that way, show up with your joy, show up with your freedom and live a big life outside of that, right? Your business is an incredible extension of who you are, but make sure you're still doing big, beautiful, adventurous, risky, loving, things with your life. And so what are the biggest blocks that are often cock blocking your dreams and ability to make money from what lights up a fire in your soul? The first one is not believing you have something of value. So if you're here, if you're watching this replay, I promise you, you have something of value. You wouldn't have gone through a transformation if you weren't supposed to share it with other people. Otherwise, that's kind of hoarding, don't you think? Your voice, your story, perspective, they're the exact message someone else needs, and they will not relate to someone else sharing it. It has to be you. You have a lot of advice for your 19-year-old self, don't you? Of course, right? So you do have something of value. And if you have a big heart and care about helping others, even if you're not a subject matter expert on any one thing, your passion to help someone else is the most important thing. You do have something of value. The next is imposter syndrome, right? Like definitely raise your hand if you've ever had imposter syndrome. How do you combat it? I'm going to go into my secret hack into how I combat imposter syndrome actually in just a moment. But before I go into that, imposter syndrome will always show up for you when you're doing something big. But sometimes we also need to have the humility to understand that our learning's not done and that we actually can get better. So you don't have to get a PhD to get started. I actually thought I needed a PhD to get started, and I'm glad I didn't go down that route. But I did need education. I did need training. I did need to get certified. I did need to work with mentors. So, what training is going to help you become more competent and more confident, right? How can you bust through imposter syndrome by actually knowing, hey, I know what I'm talking about? For example, coaching's my career, so I will continually uplevel my skill. I hold 10 different certifications. But the kicker is I'm not always a student either. I implement what I learn and I teach it to other people. So I'm a student and then a teacher and a student and a teacher, and I get to go back and forth that way, and it's just a beautiful thing and a beautiful cycle. The next thing that I hate to see, it's such a big block, is believing the lies that it's too late, it's too saturated, or that you're too old. If this is just your overprotective mind trying to protect you from failing, because if you believe that if you don't try, then you'll never fail. Well, guess what? If you never try, you're also going to spend the rest of your life regretting that you didn't go for it. And what would have happened if you 100% went for your dreams? And also, you'll probably regret the fact that you could have helped a lot of people and you didn't, right? Like, this is big stuff. All these BS excuses are just lies. None of them are actually true. There's people who are in their 80s who are just getting started, their 70s who are just getting started. It's not too saturated. There's way more doctors around than there are coaches, and it's not freaking too late at all. Like, the party just started. Another big block that I see is risk aversion. So, becoming an entrepreneur inherently has risk, right? There's no guarantees that there's some red carpet that's going to like come out and you're just going to be awarded $1 million for doing nothing, right? There's some risk involved, and we all know that. But where there's risk, there's also reward. So, 88% of millionaires are actually entrepreneurs, which is crazy. I used to be so scared to invest in myself. Always was worried what happens if this doesn't work out. But now I really can see that an investment into myself gives me an ROI in my business. When I grow, when I'm happier, healthier, when I learn top coaching practices or business skills, the business grows. Maybe not right away, and that's what's sometimes hard for a beginner to see, is it might not translate right away. But if you're looking into the longevity of your career, every investment you do actually matters. And if you think about it, every business has an upfront investment, right? There's businesses out there, like if you wanted a franchise, like I don't know, like a Carl's Jr. or Starbucks or something, that's like a $500,000 investment that you need up front. If you wanted to launch the next biggest software, or if you wanted to even have like a accounting firm or something, there's so much upfront investment. Coaching is actually one of the lowest upfront investments of any business model you could possibly do. So why are we so scared to invest even just a little bit into our business, right? When you invest and actually know that you're building something sustainable that has a big ROI for your future and future lives, your risk aversion is actually hurting you, right? And I know because it hurt me a lot too, and I'll share that in just a second. Trust yourself. When you get better, you will make more money. And so I also was spinning my wheels, and this is a really top block I see as well. When you just don't know what to do, nobody knows what to do here, right? When they're first starting, online marketing through a personal brand and running a coaching business is a completely new phenomenon. No one's supposed to know how to do it when they first start, even if you already had business education. There's a lot of also like free and paradoxical advice out there. So when you start learning from like 20 people, every person's telling you to do something different. So that actually lengthens the road to success. You really want to find one or two people who have done what you want to do and learn from them and stick with them, learn deeply from them. That is the secret to success. So, a little side note, I almost lost $1 million and a book deal and helping thousands of people. Like, I almost lost $1 million, and let me tell you why. Because I almost didn't buy the $20 domain that I built an empire on. Even the first $20 domain made me so nervous. Do you know how much shit I've spent $20 on in my life? Drinks, random knickknacks from Target, like makeup I didn't need. I mean, come on, it's nothing in the scheme of what we spend money on. But that $20 domain had me so nervous, I almost didn't do it. I almost didn't hire the $5,000 coach who believed in me even when I had no business and I was still commuting my day job, that literally saw me through to where I am today. I almost didn't join the $3,600 group coaching program that helped me sign a bunch of new clients. I almost didn't invest in the $7,500 book consultant that got me a $125,000 book deal. I almost didn't join the $15,000 certification that helped me make six figures in 1 year. I almost didn't join the $35,000 mastermind that helped me go to six figures to crossing over $1 million in revenue in my business. every single financial investment has felt hard, right? In the beginning, I didn't make any money and I was really under earning. I wasn't paid very much living in one of the most expensive areas in the world. And yet, because I knew I was saving money on not drinking, I would siphon off a portion of my paycheck from my day job into a business banking account. And all of a sudden, I would now start having more money going into this business banking account, no matter what, whether it's $20 or $50 or 100 or 200, like we can make this happen no matter who you are and where you come from. If you literally dedicate a portion of what you're already earning into your dream, you will find that you start to have a fund for it. And so that's what I started doing even before I made a dime. And that's how I was able to pay for a lot of things that I didn't literally have the money for. I chose payment plans, so I didn't have the money from them up front. And those payment plans are the saving grace until I started actually making money in my business. Now, the biggest portion of my business expenses come from actually investing in coaching. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know, maybe I just should take a break for a while. But I know I always snap to it. I know that when I'm invested with a high level mentor, mastermind, or certification, I will make more money, right? It's super simple in this online business. We do not pay for offices. We do not have cost of goods sold. We don't have production. We don't pay for R&D. We do not pay for full-time employees. We do not pay for equipment, right? Most entrepreneurship models are actually a lot of costs involved. We don't have any of that, right? We have a little bit of like online platforms we have to pay for. Sometimes like maybe we might get a VA or someone to help you. And as you grow, obviously you might have more costs, but really the biggest cost involved is the education, mentorship, and support. So my secret hack to actually show up, be boldly and fiercely, even when I had imposter syndrome, procrastination, or doubt. Actually, I want to answer this question real quick. We have a question from Nicole. I know it's different in the States and Canada, but are you able to write off coaching you receive as a business expense? Absolutely. Every single thing you do to invest in your business, whether it's for your own personal coach, whether it's any program you take, whether it's a business program, whatever it is investable. And usually the government will actually pay you back for that as a startup cost of your business. So that's really cool to see. Okay, my secret hack to show up boldly and fiercely, even with imposter syndrome, procrastination, and doubt. I face these things all the time too, right? But we have to remember that we are talking specifically to the past version of us. I want you to take your journal right now and just ask yourself, who needs my help? And how would I help them? Know that she or he is out there and they need this solution. How does it change their lives if they have this solution? How does that affect their entire life? Like if we're talking about helping someone stop drinking, how does that affect their entire life? How many diseases are they not going to get? How much lifespan are they going to get back? How much moments with their children are they going to get back? How much esteem and pride and self-love and productivity and energy are they going to get back? We're not talking about stupid little plastic knickknacks from China that we're selling here. We're selling transformations. How does it affect someone's entire world if you actually show up and share your transformation? Now, when you think of things like imposter syndrome or procrastination or doubt or not knowing how to get started, all of these things actually, and this is my secret hack, they're actually selfish when you think about them. Because if you have a transformation that could help someone's life forever, like there is a fork in their road, they will forever be changed because the work they do with you, who are you to hold back? Who are you to hide under a rock? It's almost as if you have the cure for cancer and you hide it in your closet and you never sell or market it to anyone, and no one ever gets to benefit from the cure for cancer. Like, that's wrong. I actually think it's a moral imperative that we have to share our transformations with the world. So what happens if someone doesn't find you? What happens if the past version of you never had your transformation? Where would you be today, right? These are big picture things. And this is the thing that snaps me out of imposter syndrome, procrastination, and doubt. So I have this mentor who talks about these magical brownies. Your transformation is like a batch of brownies that you baked, one bite of your brownies and your whole life changes, but you're also not like greedy. You can't eat more than one brownie anyway, or else you would be sick. What are you going to do with the rest of the brownies? Are you going to throw them away? And then how can you really help someone transform their lives if you're not able to work with them, if you're not able to help them in some kind of format? When you're heart-centered and you have a perspective, framework, wisdom, and philosophy to share that could really change someone's life, what's holding you back from doing that into the world? When you transform your relationship with selling and marketing, you start to see it as a moral imperative. I want you to adopt the mindset of a six-figure coach and know that even if you don't have the stuff starting out, you cannot let your past dictate the future. You cannot stuck in the shell of who you used to be. Just because you're not X, Y, and Z today doesn't mean you won't be in the future. You have to take action from the embodiment of what future version would do. You collapse time and become her. And just then some things to recognize are the growth mindset that will help you, the abundance focused mindset, the resilience that you have. Your business will never outgrow the personal development of the owner. So I want to talk about a little bit of the big opportunities in the coaching industry right now. In 2024, according to PwC, so Powerhouse, Waters, and Cooper, coaching is a $20 billion industry, and there's actually no ceiling to how much you can make. It's projected to be the second largest growing global sector in the world. And also, if you're here because you want to combine it with your passion for alcohol-free living, we have to remember that the World Health Organization has declared there's no safe amount of alcohol, and more people are becoming interested in changing their relationships with alcohol, taking breaks. Sober curiosity is really trending. 44% of Americans said they would participate in January in 2024. That's a lot. That is a lot, right? It might feel like it's oversaturated. It might feel like there's too many coaches out there, but there's actually not. There's only 100,000 trained and certified coaches. This is compared to 13 million doctors out there, okay? It is not oversaturated. We are just getting started here. I really do believe that your purpose lies in your passion for what you love, what you're good at, and what makes money. And that all combines to be your dream job, and that you can actually make more in a job like this than any other job you could find. It's the cornerstone of your earning potential. And I really do want to hinge on this powerful key that I shared with you as step 2, that if we want to help people change their lives, we cannot just help them with superficial things. We can't just tell someone we'll sleep 8 hours and drink some more water. Like, those are small things that will help them in the long run, but they're not the big needle moving things. We really want to master the science of change and the teachings of the subconscious mind. So these are some of the frameworks that really helped me. I really love the human potential movement. Neuroscience is something I've dove deep into. Quantum physics has a lot to teach us about this. Neuro-linguistic programming speaks directly to the subconscious mind. Hypnotherapy is really powerful. Positive psychology is a huge branch that just started in the 90s that really teaches us how to change the subconscious mind. Advanced mindset work is a big one. Cognitive behavioral therapy, emotional freedom technique, time techniques, neural encoding, science of success. I have literally pulled from all of these things to be able to help clients and help people change their lives. And we have to recognize that whatever we plant in the subconscious mind will one day become a reality. And so I know what it's like to crave a system that will teach you all of this and help you stand out. And I just want to let you know that I started my career helping people change their relationships with alcohol. But every so often people would ask me, how do you launch a business, right? They would want to pick my brain about that. And I've had, ever since 2021, people been asking me so many times that I actually started coaching in this area, teaching women how to grow successful businesses. And when you think about it, I've now condensed over $200,000 that I've invested into my own education, my own trainings, and 10 certifications into everything that I teach today. I also have this really big recognition that I'm not going to be able to help 7 billion people around the world change their relationship with alcohol. It's actually not my purpose to be that person. I recognize that. Because we need more of us. We need more leaders. That's actually the missing piece. It's not me on a billboard talking to people all around the world. That's not my purpose in life. We need more of us. And it is my privilege and honor to train more leaders in this space. So this is Megan Wilcox from Sober Sisters. She's huge, you guys. She's blown up on the online world. She's a dear friend and a client. We started working together in 2022, and then she took the certification program that I have, and she has just so many glowing things to say. She started signing more clients. She's hosted her own retreats. She's seen a huge difference applying the things she's learned in the certification, the EFT and some of the mindset parts. And she just has to say to you all, just do it. Just invest in yourself. You'll get the money back tenfold. And honestly, it's the coolest thing to be able to hang with alcohol-free women. I love working with Megan. And so what program she took is called the Empowered AF Coach Certification Program, where you actually get and earn 5 different certifications under your belt. It's a 5-modality coaching certification. So not only do you get certified as a mindset coach, as an alcohol-free life coach, if you are a coach who wants to help people change their relationship with alcohol, but do you not have a alcohol-free specific designation, that's really important to get that. It's really important to get to the next level if you really want to help people change, to get that designation. We also cover success coaching, which is all about helping people find their deeper purpose. We go deep into subconscious techniques in the neuro linguistic programming practitioner training that you get and the hypnosis training, and you graduate as all five, right? So I just want to let you know that you don't already have to have a business. You don't already have to have a ton of followers or be alcohol free for years in order to join this. You have to have a passion to want to help people. You have to have a passion for the alcohol free message, and you have to have a passion for change and knowing that you have a deep purpose to share this gift with other people. And so I love Ashley. She's from Sober Lining. She actually started from scratch. She was a stay-at-home mom. She had zero presence online. She took our certification that changed her mindset and her life. She says it's 100% worth it and so life-changing. You guys, she went viral time and time and time again and now has a huge audience and is helping so many people change their lives and their relationships with alcohol. I love her. Oh my God. So even if you're just starting, I just want to share with you what actually goes into the Empowered AF Coach Certification Program. It is a 10-month program of high-level mentorship to become a highly sought-after world-class coach. It is mostly targeted for people who want to help people change their relationship with alcohol, but that is not the only thing that you learn. So it's actually really holistic and beautiful and broad in that way that you get 5 different certifications. Like you graduate with 5 diplomas, you guys. It's accredited by the ICF, which is the top dog in coaching standards. It's also accredited by the CPD and the IAOTH. The CPD accredits things like the Oxford and Cambridge, and the IAOTH is the International Association of Therapists. So we also have that accreditation. It's triple accredited, so you know you're learning the best. And this is my favorite part. It actually includes an all-inclusive immersive weekend, a business retreat in Palm Springs. So I know there's so many certification programs out there. I know because I've taken them, and they don't include any kind of live in-person experience, right? The in-person experiences is where your life and identity will change. There's also way too many certifications out there that have absolutely no business training. Like, I do not believe in that whatsoever. You can have all the skills here, but if you don't know how to market and you don't know how to build an audience and you don't know how to actually serve and get clients, you will go nowhere. So we actually spend 4 months after you already graduate with the certifications on a 4-month business mastermind with weekly live business trainings and hot seat coaching, where I spell from the ground up the foundations of a successful coaching business. And we also do this together. This isn't like some kind of self-paced thing that you're getting into. It's a deep community for sisterhood, friendship, celebrations, and support. You meet every single person in this program. You see them every week, and then you actually get to meet them in person in Palm Springs, and then have this incredible cohort to collab with for the rest of your life. So a little bit about the curriculum. I really believe in the power of the subconscious mind. And so we talk about really the forefront of what the science is telling us about how the subconscious and conscious mind work together, and how a lot of the things that are trapped in our subconscious are preventing us from actually doing the things we want to do, or keeping us stuck in the things we don't want to do. So we cover those things around the subconscious, around the mindset. We really learn about reality from a quantum physics perspective. It's really cool. And we go deep into what the science of neuroplasticity says. We talk about the origin of limiting beliefs. Like, you are going to become a master at personal development and really understanding these theories and these frameworks from the ground up. Seriously, way more than any layperson could ever know. We also have practicums baked in. So every single thing that you're learning is actually practice. You don't have to do this on your own time extra. We bake it in, and there's actually 10 practicums for you to actually practice things. We do these on a weekly basis. So every week you either have a training or a practicum. It kind of switches up, and you just get paired with a partner, and you go and you practice exactly what you just learned that week. So in modality 2, we also go really deep in helping someone change their relationship with alcohol, actually helping them lose their desires to drink. So first you have pre-work on this. So there's pre-work and a lot of different modules that you'll learn on helping someone change their relationship with alcohol, how to help them improve their health along that journey, how to deal with partners, how to deal with vacations, events, all those kind of things. But then we go deep into the neuroscience of alcohol. You'll literally learn more about this than most doctors even know about what alcohol does to the human body and what a break can do for the human body as well. You'll learn all about how we are conditioned to have these different alcohol beliefs instituted from society, and how to fundamentally change those on a subconscious level so that you learn exactly how to remove someone's desires to drink. And we have guest experts and practicums all around this too. Okay, this is my favorite. So if you help someone change something that's no longer serving them, what are you left with? You're left with space. You're left with space to figure out what they really want out of life. And I think this is what's the most incredible work we could be doing out there, is to help someone find their own sense of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment, because then they won't go back to drinking again. When you actually know how to find the self actualization of someone and the human potential of someone, you empower your clients. And we teach you how to do this from assessments and quizzes to mine their personalities. We learn about manifestation, even from what the quantum physics and cell biology tell us about this, that goes way deeper than what's being taught on Instagram these days. And all these different exercises you can use on your clients to actually really get to the deepest core of what they want towards purpose, fulfillment, and growth. And then you actually are able to help them implement that by setting goals and achieving these things together, which is really, really beautiful. So neurolinguistic programming is up next. This is what Tony Robbins majored in, basically. This is how Tony Robbins got famous and how he was able to change so many people's lives. Neurolinguistic programming is an advanced branch of psychology that really is the language and encoding of the mind. We encode positive experiences differently than we do negative experiences, and that can therefore hold us back from what we want to do and what we don't want to do. So we're going to go over everything you need to learn about using these advanced techniques in your coaching, from submodalities to different parts integration to the metal model, root causes. It's such an in-depth field, and I cannot wait to make it as explainable and easy for you to understand, and beautiful techniques that you can build into your coaching practice. And last but not least, you also get certified as a hypnosis practitioner. So you are going to learn the Krasner method of hypnosis. You are going to be able to literally guide someone through a trance and able to implant things. Why hypnosis? If anyone's curious. So when we were kids, our brain operated at the theta level. There are 5 different brain waves, and theta is when we are almost falling asleep or just waking up. This is when our conscious mind, the prefrontal cortex, is kind of turned off. And our subconscious mind is a lot more receptive to the things we have to tell it. So hypnosis is actually a way to get someone into that theta state and then implant the things that they want implanted in their subconscious mind, usually things that will make them more successful. So we practice this many, many times over for you to feel really confident in hypnosis. You can do it one-on-one. You can also do it in groups or even record your own tracks, which is really, really fun if you want to build out a coaching career. And then we put it all together. So it's really important for me that we have an established code of ethics and trauma sensitivity in this program. So we cover that. We also cover active listening and powerful questions and the foundations of a coaching session. You guys, a lot of certifications only cover this, and you won't cover all the other stuff we just talked about, which is really sad in my opinion. But we also cover the logistics of a coaching session. So you're going to get the templates, the discovery call framework, the contract, scheduling, forms that need to be filled out. All this stuff are included as templates so that you understand logistically how to do this as well. Exercises as well. So if you want to assign your clients exercises to do or do that in your group programs, you're going to actually get some of the most life-changing exercises included all in this. And then once you finish your 5 certifications, we have a little exam period. It's really easy. It's an open book, open note test. But then your tuition actually includes an all-inclusive weekend retreat. And this is what I wish I had when I was first starting. Like, look at these beautiful angels. Look at these beautiful women. We have one guy in the last class too. So incredible. We actually get to meet together. So we meet together in Palm Springs for a weekend retreat. And this is like a luxury accommodation experience. You get your own private room, right? It's a powerful mastermind sessions on embodying an abundant and impactful coach. We have mocktail parties. We have the Come As You'll Be party. Maybe you saw that on my Instagram. We do deep intention setting exercises, and everything's included. So the lodging, the food, activities, it's all included in your tuition, right? So you don't have to worry about booking a hotel or anything like that. A lot of conferences, you actually add up all these other costs because they didn't include it. We include it all for you. The only thing that's not included with this is your flight and your transportation there, because everyone's going to be arriving at a different time. We don't have like a bus or anything to get you there. So you're going to have to get the Uber, but that's it. Everything else is included: the food, the training, the incredible connections you'll make that last you a lifetime. So you are high off of this weekend. You literally just met your entrepreneurial alcohol-free besties, and we're not done yet. Oh my God, this is a photo from our first year in 2023. Look at these gorgeous ladies. This is so incredible. These are some of the biggest leaders in the alcohol-free movement and in other coaching modalities. This is from our second year. These beautiful ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh, so much fun. Seriously, so high from this. But when you come back, you're not done. So we still have 4 more months together. Now we switch into implementing into business, where I will teach you the foundational skills of launching and growing a successful coaching business. You now have weekly trainings with me and weekly hot seats to actually be able to ask your personalized questions. Now you always get to ask your personalized questions of me. Like, I'm the only teacher there. There's no other like co-coaches that are running it, and you don't get to see me or anything. It's me that you get to be with the whole time. However, now we get to go super deep into your business and get you the personalized support that you need in all the trainings. So this is just a quick little overview of what we go into the business. It's literally the foundations and what everything I wish I had when I first started at the order. Plus, if you're already a seasoned coach, you know that this stuff is never something that you're just done with, that like you get to go into mastery when you really learn this at a deeper level. So we go over the mindset of a six-figure coach. We go over selling as an act of service, the energy of client attraction, thought leadership marketing. We have a website freebie and offer workshop. We talk about beta launching. We go over your strategic offer suite. We go over the long-term vision of your business. We cover all the business foundations and formation, everything from the legal, the finances, the tools of the trade, finding your dream clients, how to get 25 leads in less than 60 minutes. We cover how to develop a brand and irresistible content and building direct relationships. We cover mastering your messaging. We cover how to create different offers, how to launch and actually get people excited about your work and into your programs, how to develop your content strategy, mastering the money game. You guys, I could keep going on and on, but there's just so many. We cover how to be a master social media house, how to set it and forget it with Pinterest so that you are able to get leads from that beautiful place. We talk about how to get featured. So I tell you how to get featured on big media publications, podcasts, all those beautiful things, how to grow your email list, how to run ads and create funnels and campaigns that actually work to your advantage, how to sell from heart, from sales psychology to how to overcome objections. We also cover retreats and book writing. So 82% of people want to write a book. Most people haven't though. And so I actually want to see your book out into the world. And I will teach you everything I learned about writing my book and hosting retreats around the world in this really good training. We also make our life easier with systems, team, and tech. So we have a training on how to actually make you sane so that this is all feasible for you, and how to step into your leadership area and really develop the emotional mastery on how to play the long game. You guys, just the business training alone is worth the price of the certification, but you also get then 5 certifications and the in-person retreat. I can't believe we offer so much. So this is Marcy. She's an incredible client of mine. She likes to say she's the least woo-woo people out there. She was super skeptical. She thought that I was too good to be true, but when she joined the program, found out that I hold nothing back, and she tells you a step-by-step of how she got there. If I had known how much I would learn at the end of this and how much I would massively grow and change as a person, I would have easily paid double. Okay. Here are some incredible testimonials, people who had 20K months, new clients, signed clients, getting on podcasts, getting paid on TikTok to create content from other people. The highlight, I just submitted my first children's book for editing. Oh my gosh, so many incredible women doing life-changing moves because they're part of this program and getting this level of mentorship. Rachel from Sober in the City is a powerhouse, but she still found herself a little bit feeling like an imposter syndrome sometimes. And she found that truly believing like she's a coach and not believing she's an imposter and feeling like she really knows what she's talking about was a result of taking this program. Chrissy says, I've changed to a new person. Do it. It's life-changing, right? And then this is from Colleen. She literally got on 4 different podcasts, signed a new client, began her book, and is going on stage to present her binge message just in a few short months. And she says, whether you've been through another coaching program or not, she thinks this program is one of the best out there. She even wishes she took it before she took the This Naked Mind program because the value and the cost is so incredible. Tracy actually was already a coach, and so she had already been coaching for 20 years and found that this is one of the best experiences she ever had. So if you're already a seasoned coach or already started your business like a year or 2 or 3 into it, you will find so much value here as well to really get those advanced level strategies to become a thought leader and take your business to the next level. And if you're starting from scratch, just about 70 or so % of people are starting from scratch. So you're not like alone in that. We do go over every single basic and every foundational step too. I truly believe that this certification is perfect for you. If you've transformed your relationship with alcohol, that's already a huge transformation you have there too. If you want to learn the most advanced strategies in the subconscious mind that affect change in clients, if you want to be a sought after coach and get paid for your passions, and you value things like freedom, impact, and purpose. So when you join, we have over 100 hours together, right? This is not just like a weekend thing. This is not just like a course you get. It is totally feasible because we put it into digestible chunks. So we actually only work 3 to 4 hours a week on it because it's 10 months long, but we come together for 100 hours total and a triple accredited certification. There are 27 certification modules that you go through and become an expert on, 27 workbooks that you go through. We have over 25 business trainings and coaching. These aren't things that you just unlock and watch on your own free time. We go through it together live, and there's 24/7 community and support in our coaches' private community that we have together. As a bonus, when you join, you also go through Become Euphoric. This is my 4-month program to completely reprogram subconscious desires around alcohol and discover your passions. So, whether you want to claim yourself as an alcohol free coach and really grow your own sober movement, or you're another kind of coach, or you have another niche like wellness or even career, it's really interesting. If you want to have it in your toolkit to be able to help people change their relationship with alcohol, under any circumstance when they come to you, maybe they come to you for career advice first, but then you notice that the alcohol is really in the way, you will learn fundamentally how to do that. And this is huge, you guys. There's more and more people who want to stop drinking, take breaks, change their relationship with alcohol. It's only a growing trend. Having this skill, having this tool in your toolkit is literally what's going to set you apart. Whether you call yourself a sober coach or not doesn't really matter. Knowing these skills is going to set you apart. So I just want to talk a little bit about what is included. You have the 5 certifications in the investment. Those 5 certifications anywhere else are a $10,000 investment. We do the practicum. So this isn't something that you learn and you never practice. I took too many certification programs without practice, and they literally are a disservice. I'm kind of like, there's a little bit of a disgrace in the certification module sometimes because people are not practicing what they learn and then they don't have any confidence or competence. We have 10 practicums for you to actually practice what you're learning. We have live support. You can ask questions every single week. We have a 24/7 community. You can ask questions all the time, all the freaking time. We have the in-person retreat that's valued at $4,000. We pay for your room, for your food. That's like a luxury, beautiful experience in Palm Springs. We don't skimp out. We also have the 4-month business mastermind that would usually be $6,000 by itself. And we have the weekly hot seat coaching with an expert, with a best-selling author, with, a over $1 million revenue producing coach like myself, and that's a $2,500 value. So the total value of the program is about $24,500, okay? And just for comparison, the life coaching school is $18,000 and this Naked Mind is $23,000. There's no way though that you're paying any of that, because you are actually going to get an incredible deal. This entire program, including the 5 certifications, the business mastermind, the training and lodging and all the fun activities in Palm Springs, it's only $9,997. Okay. This is actually so much less expensive and way more affordable than a lot of the other certification programs I took. And they didn't even come with the cool immersion experience. And the thing is that when I first started, I didn't have $10,000 just lying around, right? I chose payment plans. This is how you fund your dreams, is you recognize that you can pay for things over time. You can make more money in this over time. You can siphon off some income from your day job, right? So we actually have options for you. And these are some of the most generous in the industry. So yeah, we have the painful option, obviously. We also have a 3-month payment plan. We also have a 12-month payment plan. And literally, I've never seen this in any other certification program. We have an 18-month payment plan that is literally the most flexible, the most generous that like we have as an option. We take a big risk by allowing that to happen, but we want it to happen because we want it to be as accessible and as possible as, to as many people. When you look at the average cost of how much people spend on alcohol a month, it's $400 a month. $400 a month, right? If you are no longer spending $400 on alcohol a month, we have to recognize that our life is giving us a new opportunity to invest in our dreams instead of our bad habits. And so being able to divide it over to like 584 is one of our low payment plans that we have. And we also even have a special bonus for you too. So how do I join? Okay. Our class starts October 18th. However, you can't just enroll. It's by invite only. We need to actually talk to you. So we have to see an application come through and booking an interview. This is the perfect time to actually ask me questions. You don't get on a call with my team. It's not some random person that you're talking to. It's me. And we can actually discuss your personal and professional goals and find the best roadmap for you, whether it's this program or something else. I will answer all your personal questions, and I never forget a face. So when we get to talk, I will be rooting for you forever, whether you join this program or not. I truly, truly care about you and your success, and I'm literally rooting for you forever. I have a really special bonus for you. Because you sign up for this class too, you can get another $500 off the program if you submit your application within the next 7 days. So that doesn't mean you have to have your call with me in the next 7 days, but you just have to hit that submit button within the next 7 days and you will get $500 off your tuition. So you just have to go to becomeeuphoric.com/certification. It has all the information there, all these beautiful testimonials you can read. You can learn more about the curriculum there. You can learn more about the experience. If you have a question that's not answered, seriously, the easiest thing is to just book the application with me. That way we can just talk about it real quick and I can answer your questions. And you get this $500 off if you book within the next 7 days. So you don't have to have the call in the next 7 days. You just have to submit your application within the next 7 days. Okay. And I did want to let you know, so I'm, I've been working with a coach for a really long time, an accountant for a really long time, and they literally are telling me, Carolina, like just the certification alone should be this price. Just the business mastermind by itself should be this price. Like you're throwing in a retreat in there too. You're seriously giving away the farm. There's so much massive value. This is my baby. This is the thing I work on every week. This is what I care about the most. This is where I show up the most because of the massive value in this program. The tuition is going to be in rising for 2025. So it's not going to be 9997 in 2025. It is rising, I think by about $2,000. So if you've been waiting, if you're like, oh, I'll do that next year, I'll do that next time, there's no more time to wait. This is the best time if you want to save the most money and you really want to just claim this identity of being a thought leader and a life-changing coach today. I really want to be able to save you that money before it rises. Like I said, the value you get from it, from the certifications, the ICF approved certifications, the in-person retreat that you get, and the business mastermind is unparalleled out there in any other alcohol-free coaching certification. And so time is of the essence. This is an intimate and exclusive group. We only have like limited spots. We do not cap the class because we don't want it so big that we don't get to know each other. It's really important to me that we keep things intimate. And it's only invite only by application. So you do have to submit an application to get accepted first. We actually have had to reject some people because they weren't a right fit. I'm sure you won't get rejected because you're so growth oriented here, but I just want to make sure that the class is really high vibe and a really great group to work with. We actually only have a handful of slots left for our fall 2024 class. And then just for a little bit of timing for you just to know, the last day to apply is October 15th. The last day to enroll is October 17th, and we start on October 18th. If you're late to the party, I'm sorry, right? It's over. We do have this fast action bonus for you because if you book a call and just submit your application in the next 7 days, just hit the submit button within the next 7 days, you do get $500 off. And the program tuition is rising for 2025. So I do want to make sure that I can save you the most money now. Okay, FAQ real quick. Is the certification live taught? When are the trainings? We go through the program together week by week. And this is why we have such a big success rate, is it's not something you're doing on your own that you almost forget to do. Like week by week, we are meeting. We have every Sunday a new module for you that you unlock to go through on your own. And then either every Wednesday or Thursday, occasionally on a Friday too, we alternate the times to accommodate various time zones, but we meet together for an hour and a half. So it's not this crazy commitment where you have to meet for 4 hours or anything. It's just 1 hour and a half a week, right? This is where we have another training, a practicum, a workshop, or a guest speaker. Another good question is, when and where is the business retreat? So the retreat's going to take place in Palm Springs, and it's slated to take place March 6th through the 9th of 2025. However, this is not officially confirmed until we've assembled our entire group and the lodging is booked, okay? So this is what you can kind of earmark, and then we'll confirm with you hopefully the first or second week of the certification. And then do you already have to be a coach to join? Absolutely not. Like that's the point of this program, is going to teach you how to become a world-class coach and all of the business foundations you need to grow. But we do also welcome experienced coaches who want to add the alcohol-free coaching into their toolkit or the deep subconscious modality work that we teach, which is really critical as well. If you have any other questions, I do encourage you to get on a call with me. Like I'm an open book. I love talking to you. I love to see your story, your transformation, what's calling you into coaching. Like these are such critical things to learn. I will point you in the right direction. I will suggest other book recommendations for you. Like I will talk about the program a little bit more for you. So that's the best place to get your questions answered. If you have anything quick, obviously you can throw it in the chat right now. But really let's get on a call is the best way. If you're listening to this or watching the replay and you've already taken the certification, I just want you to know that we are doing something really big in 2025. I keep doing things that scare me. We are launching a thought leader mastermind for literally the people who want to get to the next level in business, become a worldwide thought leader. And we are meeting in Paris. I cannot wait to tell you more about that as the details become available. And just to kind of close off here real quick, I want you to come back to yourself and just journal for a moment. What do you want more than anything? Like, what is it that you really want out of your lifetime? Do you want freedom? Do you want impact? Do you want abundance? Do you want fame? Do you want purpose? There are no wrong answers here. What do you want most out of your one and only wild, precious life? And be sure to just connect with that for a moment today. And then how would your life change if you actually handled your dreams with utmost seriousness? And you took the same big moves that other thought leaders took before you. You mastered the skills to fundamentally change lives, and you leaned on faith over fear to paint a big picture and hit the go button. How would your life change? I mean, who would have thought that I would be flying to Bali and in Europe and living this life that I live today, signing my book in bookstores? I could have never thought if I didn't take that first step. So final thoughts, I just want to leave you with, you didn't reevaluate the role of alcohol in your life just for you. You didn't embark on this journey of self-discovery and personal growth just for you. You didn't do all this inner work and emotional healing just for you. You didn't get into a business just to stay small if you're already in business. The world is waiting for you to step into your leadership power, right? We are not staying small because we have a cure for cancer and we're going to hide it away and no one's going to know about it. It is your destiny to share your gift with the world. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm so happy. I'm so glad that we got to connect in this way. I hope we get to chat more in an application or an interview. I hope you sent me an emoji on the Instagram. I would love to hear from you and get your application in. And again, it's becomeeuphoric.com/certification. I'm about to open up some more spots because I was going to go to a conference tomorrow and Friday. Now I don't have a conference anymore. So I'm going to open up some more spots on my calendar on Thursday and Friday so we can talk even this week, which would be really, really incredible. And I have a free resource for you. So thank you for staying to the very end. I'm going to give you my 5 simple steps to your side hustle and a business bootcamp guide. So let me get out of my screen and open up another window. And I'm going to share it in the chat. So this is a free guide you can go grab and just hit download. So the website looks pretty ugly, but just go to that website and hit the download button and you will be getting this free guide. It has a little bit more about how to discover your passion, how to set up a business, how to get started posting online, all the little kind of bootcamp guides of getting started and some of the good things to make sure, even if you already are in business, to make sure that you're doing them and stuff like that. And so this is a great guide. Go be sure you can go download it. It's in the chat right now. And then once you go to that webpage, just hit the download button. It's going to be like on the right-hand side and you can have this guide for good. So I have just real quick questions before we close off. Do you have to have an LLC first? Absolutely not. You do not have to form your business legally first in order to start your business, but you probably want to claim that you have a business by the time you file taxes in April. And then my name is literally Victory for the People. Oh my gosh, Nicole, I love that. Can't to see it in the chat from Megan. Amazing. Thank you guys so much. Again, go get that resource so you can go grab it. I'm just hanging on a little longer so everyone can grab their resource. And we haven't talked yet about the certification. It would be a dream to learn more about you, your journey, your transformation. I really believe you were meant to be here for a reason. There's something really big for you. I've worked with some of the top names in the coaching and the alcohol-free industry, both that I learned from, but also that have worked with me. So Christy Osborne, from example, from Love Life Sober, she's about to release her book. We helped her do that. Like, she's got started with me when she was first starting. I have Megan Wilcox from Soba Sisters really grow her business. Jen Lee Hurst. There's so many thought leaders that I have had the privilege and the fortune of helping get to the next level because I care so much about this work. I really believe that I'm not here to change 7 billion lives about their relationship with alcohol. I'm here because I'm meant to help you, the leaders of the next generation, the people who are going to stand up and help more people. We need more of us, you guys. Okay. Amazing. So there's nothing in the chat. Let me put oh, it's disabled. Cool. Cool. Okay. Well, we know how to deal with tech snafus. What we're going to do is we're going to send you this in an email. If the chat is not working for you, my apologies. Oh, that's what I did. There we go. Maybe that worked, but my apologies. Thank you so much for letting me know. If you still already left or whatnot, we will get this in an email for you. So don't fret. Okay. Thank you. We know how to handle tech issues. We're just going to make solutions, right? That's just what we do. So thank you guys so, so much for being here. Hopefully you got that resource now. And again, I'm going to send it via email if not. And I just want to close out and thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending your afternoon or your evening or your morning with me. Seriously, don't take this work lightly. I believe so much that you have the power to change so many people's lives. And I know how powerful you are. And I know what blocks get in the way. And I know how hard it is to get started or to get growing. And if I could save you some time, if I could save you some pain, if I could save you some struggle and actually give you the roadmaps that not only help people change their lives, but also how to grow a mega successful business, I will know I've done my purpose on this planet. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I will see you on the flip side. Do be sure to book an interview if we haven't talked yet. If we've already talked yet, I hope to see you in this round, girl. I know that that certification pricing is going up. Be sure to get that pricing now. Get that $500 off. I care for you. If you're a past student in any of my programs, you get an even bigger discount. So be sure that you apply so that you can get that. I love you. I care for you, to your big, massive purpose, to your wildest success. Love you. Have a great rest of your day.